Hi, Uzair here again with part two of my video on ServiceNow's App Engine and the app that I built. In this video, I'm going to be walking through the development process that I followed in building the app, and then I'm going to show you a quick look under the hood of the different experiences and tables that I built. Let's get started. So this is the development process that I followed. The first thing is when you're building an app, you need to have a business case. Who's it for? What's the purpose? And what are we saving with it? Are we going to save money with it, or are we going to make money with it? Number two, we want to wireframe it. So I like to wireframe the app on pen and paper because it just helps me conceptualize what the app and the flow is going to look like. And I'm going to show you how I did that for this particular app. And last but not least, we're going to build it. So in this situation, let's talk about the business case. So Acme Inc. has adopted a hybrid work system where employees can either work from home or they can work at the office. Now, a lot of people decided to work from home, but a few do come to the office, but they don't come that often. So the problem is Acme Inc. was spending money on cleaning services on a weekly schedule, but it didn't need to be cleaned every week. It just had to be cleaned on demand. So they thought, what if we built an app where employees could request a service to get the office clean as needed versus on a weekly basis, and thus saving them a lot of money over the course of the year. And that was the business case behind why the app was built. And then afterwards, I took that and I wireframed the flow of the app. So we're going to have the people that are going to be requesting the app, scheduling the service, delivering on the service, and a manager that's going to be managing everything to make sure that everyone is doing their job. So we have the requester, we have the variables for that. We have, requested by, the reason, the office. Then we have the person, the office admin is going to be scheduling the service. They need to schedule the right team and the right time and select the number of hours. Then we have the people delivering on the service providers, and they need to set their start and stop time. Then we have a manager who's going to have a dashboard where he can see all the services that were booked, broken down by which location was booked, by who's booking it, number of hours, etc., etc. Then I also wanted to look into the UI policies that I'm going to use, like what fields are going to be mandatory or what fields are going to be read-only or active. And then we also have the notifications. Who needs to know? Who needs to be kept in the loop as things are transacting through the process and the flow? And last but not least, we have some integrations. How can we make the app easier to use? And you got a chance to see the demo of all this in part one. So we had someone request the service, fulfill the service, and then go on virtual chat and do it on there too. So now let's take a look under the hood and see what everything looks like. So over here, this is the back end of the app engine. You can see that we have the table where all the data is going to be inputted, the experiences, which is the forms that the users are going to fill out, the portals are going to interface through, and the workspace where the service request, and the portal where the office admin is going to make sure the jobs are booked, and the dashboards are visible by the manager. We also have logic and automation, and we have security access depending on what the person's role is. So let's go to our logic and automation. So if you look at one of the flows over here, we'll click here, it says, what's the trigger? Now the trigger of the flow is going to be when a status is approved and a schedule time changes. So the purpose of this is that when a job gets booked, we want to make sure that the manager and the requester know if the job got booked. So I have it so that when the status is turned to approved and the schedule time changes, we send a notification. And then we click on the notification here so we can see that when the job gets booked, we have the notification job is scheduled. And then an email will be sent out to the manager and an email will be sent out to the requester saying, hey, your job is booked. Now let's move on to the UI policies. So we wanted to make sure that when someone booked the back office, that the reason form was going to be mandatory. So there's 2 UI policies for that I created. And what happens is, depending on what the location is going to be, the policy will either make the reason active make the reason required or not. So this is just a quick rundown of what the app looks like under the hood. It can get more complicated, but we're not going to get there. So to summarize, this is my development process for building an app on ServiceNow, and it's the one that I followed for creating this app for office cleaning. The first thing was a business case, then I wireframed it on a piece of paper, and then I went to the App Engine and I built it one by one. Built the table first, the experience, the workflows, the UI policies, and now it's a fully functioning app on ServiceNow's App Engine.